Hey there everyone, and welcome back to the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker, and I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. Today I'm going to talk about lots of things because I haven't been here in a really long time. So welcome back if you are returning, and thank you so much for joining me if you are new. I'm just going to jump in because it has been so long. Yeah, nothing happened, really. I mean, things have happened, but there was no big reason why I stopped podcasting. I just didn't really fit into the schedule too well, but I really miss doing it, and I know there's lots of people that miss me doing it as well. So I just want to, I'm going to try and make this a part of my schedule again, because I really like sharing things with you, and as we all know, I'm not the most reliable when it comes to posting things on Instagram, but I'm there a little bit as well, but this is just a little more personal. Anyways, yeah, so I'm just going to start with what I'm wearing, I guess. This is a new shawl design, and published by us, so that's something new. Last spring we actually put a call out for designers, and we put together a collection of patterns. There's 5 patterns by 4 different designers. 2 of them are from me, and we've just started releasing them. So they're 2 of them are released now. This is one of them. And this is the Reflection Shawl, and it is designed by Fatima Hines. I think it uses 2 skeins of DK and 5 mini skeins. So the whole premise of the collection, the whole idea behind it was different ways to use mini skeins. So in this one, I'll take it off and show you. Ooh, it's so cozy. But in this one, you can see that it's plain stockinette. It's knit from end to end, and it's kind of like a long, kind of shallow triangle. I've never had a shawl kind of knit in this shape before, and I really, really love it. It's like a hybrid of a shawl and just like a regular scarf. So if there's somebody that you knit for or would like to knit for that isn't really a shawl person, and maybe a little more traditional, maybe something like this, because it's still that like long kind of scarf thing. I've definitely worn it just over my coat, and it's lovely. So it uses 2 skeins of DK weight yarn. This is Madeline Tosh DK in Mars Rover. And then the mini skeins, she's actually marled in this one section here. So it's off center, and there's a whole section where you use fingering weight mini skeins, and then you marl them together. I don't know all of the colorways, but they are all on there. And then just this part is in stockinette, and then the body of it is in plain stockinette, and then you have these little eyelets along the edges as well. So I have really been loving this one. One of the things that we didn't really think about when we, Katie and I, when we started this whole collection where we would get designs from other people, was we don't get to keep the samples. So once, after a little while, after the pattern's released, this will get sent back to Fatima and I'm gonna miss it because I do love it a lot. It's really easy to wear. It's really drapey and lovely, and the yarn is so nice, and like what a great way to use up some mini skeins. There's also instructions in there for like if you're just using scraps. So if you just want to do this one little section just of marling scraps, there's kind of instructions in there as well. So again, this is the Reflection shawl. It is on Ravelry and at our website. I will make sure I put the links down below. And because I haven't podcasted in such a long time, there was a new release. We usually do a discount for new releases. So since we kind of missed out on that, I'm going to put this on sale again. So if you missed the release discount, and it's just for you guys until the 14th. So we'll do, actually, what day is it today? It's the 10th. We'll do till next Friday. So on December 17th, use the code Reflection on Ravelry or Ravelry or our website, and you can get 20% off of the pattern. So that's what I'm wearing. It's a new release. All right, so I'm just going to put these guys on and wear them. So the second pattern that we've released recently are the Saguaro fingerless gloves, and these are designed by Kay and Gabs Koizumi, and they also go by Slip Sis on Instagram. I love these so much as well. They are fingerless mittens. They're made with fingering weight yarn, and when they designed this pattern, they were specifically thinking of like a sock set. So one full 100-gram skein of yarn and then 2 minis, but you can also use like whatever minis you have or leftovers or whatever, because yeah. So I'll give you a little close up there. There is this beautiful color work in the cactus, and then the palm has these little details of the pink and then some stripes with dots there. And I really love the, let's see if I can show you, there's some thumb details here that are really nice. And then also the twisted rib. You know me, I love a good twisted rib. So there's a long cuff, long at the fingertips, and then even all the thumb is twisted rib. So they make for a really polished finish. Sorry, there we go. The little flowers, there's options in there to do intarsia in the round, or you can do duplicate stitch afterwards. I would probably do duplicate stitch myself, but that's because I've never done intarsia in the round before. Yeah, it was really awesome to be able to work with other designers in kind of a collaborative format like this. And I really enjoyed choosing the patterns and seeing all the different ideas. Like there were so many different ideas for what to do, because the whole theme of this 5-pattern collection is mini skeins. If you don't know, I have a mini skein subscription that you can sign up for, where I make mini skein sets with yarn from all different dyers. I love mini skeins so much. As you will see in a minute, I have many things to show you to do with mini skeins. So we kind of thought that it would be cool to do a knitting pattern collection all about mini skeins. So that's kind of what we did, and it was a really cool process. We don't at this very second, we don't have any immediate plans to do another one, like another collection like this. But it's definitely something that we would be open to again if that's something that you guys like. It was really fun for us. So yeah. Oh, did I say about the discount? Since these ones were released at the beginning of the week, the introduction discount is still going on. So on Ravelry and our website, you can get 20% off with the code cacti. So I'll put all the information down below. I'll put all the designers' information down below as well, so that you can check out their other designs. Yeah, they're getting a little warm, so I'm going to take them off. But those are our newest releases. I can't remember if I showed you last time or if it was released or not. We also have a headband pattern that's out. If you're looking for a gift, I didn't even grab it because I didn't know I was going to be talking about it, but I'll put a picture of it maybe. But it's just a simple headband with a little twisty bit, and I've made that pattern so that you can use it with 5 different weights of yarn. So if you are looking for Christmas presents or holiday presents to make people using yarn that you already have in your stash and that are fairly quick, I would definitely go check out the AURORA headband. Yeah, it's knit from, or it's, there's a, bleh. The pattern is for fingering all the way up to Aran weight. So you just pick your weight of yarn and then kind of what size you want to make, and then your instructions will be there. It's magic. That one has definitely been, I've seen lots of people making them for gifts for Christmas, so that has been, that's been pretty awesome. For finished objects, again, I didn't go back. It's been such a long time, but I did not go back and even see what I had talked about before. So I don't really know what I shared last. So I'll just show you the couple things that I've been working on recently. And it's all marling. I don't know what came over me, but as I said before, I do a mini SKEIN subscription. You can find out all about it on our website, but basically I get yarn from dyers from all over Canada, and I wind them up into mini skeins, and I put them together in these sets, and I send them out once a month. Now, most skeins of yarn are not exactly 100 grams. And to be honest, most of the mini skeins that I make are not exactly 20 grams either. They're usually a little bit more. But sometimes I find, especially with yarns that are like some skeins are 115 grams. And so I have amassed quite the collection of tiny scraps of yarn. I cannot throw away anything more than like 2 grams of yarn. So I have a whole box now of tiny, tiny balls of yarn. And I was getting overwhelmed because I was like, why am I even keeping these? I never use them. What am I doing? But I really like having them. So I obviously didn't get rid of them, and I found a use for them. So I made these. Sorry, they might have red hair on them, and I thought I grabbed a sock blocker, but maybe not. So, and I don't even think they're blocked. I haven't even worn them yet. Anyways, I'm going to show them to you. But this is what I have finished recently. And there are 2 of them. And basically, they are marled boot socks. So I just made up the pattern. I think I cast on, I don't know, 44 maybe? Or 52, maybe 52 stitches on US 30 needles, I think. We're a really good podcaster. And I used fingering weight held double. Now, if you have gotten our subscription mini skeins, you may recognize these colors, and that is because these are all the leftovers, all the little tiny baby scraps of yarn from our November mini skein sets. So this was the palette, and I used kind of the dark red for heels, toes, and cuffs, and then I just kind of marled as I went. And at first I was trying to make it so that they were like each kind of stripe was the same, and that worked. I did really like that. So if you can't see, but maybe you can, but the top, the leg because I knit them cuff down. So the leg, all the stripes are pretty even, and I'm just switching one color at a time. And then when I originally made these, I knit a big tube. Like did I knit 2? Yeah, I think I knit 2. And then I put the toes on. So they were and then I was going to do Afterthought heels on them. And then I remembered that I really don't like Afterthought heels. They don't fit me very well, especially with boot socks. Like, my instep is too high, and it's not too high, it's just higher than average. And so Afterthought heels just don't really fit me anymore. I have a pair of boot socks that I really love that have a heel flap and gusset. So what I did was I unraveled them up to here. I didn't unravel the whole thing, so that would have been silly, but I unraveled up to the heel and then did a heel flap and gusset and re-knit the foot. And let me tell you, when you're holding fingering weight double, working on such a small circumference like that, it really did not take a lot of time to redo that. So I wasn't too upset about having to do that. And now I have a pair of socks that I really love. And the stripes mostly are the same because I just kind of wound the 2 yarns into a ball as I was unraveling it. So some of these are a little smaller because of the things, but that's just kind of what happens. And then I was going through and realized that I just wanted to make another pair. So I've actually made a few magic balls, and basically what those are like jawbreaker self-striping things, where you use a Russian join, and I'll put a link below to a Russian join if you've never done it before. But basically you take you take one end of your yarn and you make it into a loop, and with a darning needle you kind of push the yarn. How do I explain this? So you have your one yarn and here's the end, and you make a loop, and with your darning needle you push, or you like thread through the middle of your yarn, kind of, so you're pulling one end through to the middle. So basically you're making this loop, and then the 2 yarns go together for an inch or so. And then you take your second yarn with the color that you want to join, and you put it through your little loop that you've just made, and you do the same thing. So then you put your darning needle, say here's yarn 2, use your darning needle to make a loop and pull it. And then what you do is you just grab your 2 ends and pull them tight so that your little loops tighten up on each other. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. If it doesn't, I'll put a link to a video, because it's a really cool technique. And for a while what I was doing was just making these big giant jawbreakers with my mini SKEIN ends. And so I just started knitting kind of with, I didn't really have any color palette in mind. But they ended up like this. And I did, for the second one, like for one of the yarns I used my magic ball, and then for one of the yarns I actually chose it. And so I kind of ended up with this bluey purple green thing kind of the whole time. And I think it's really cool. So these are totally not planned. Where aren't you? There we go. And they kind of ended up the same, in the same palette. I think for the second one, like the second half of the second one, I cut some of the colors out of my magic ball, because by then it had already been this palette, so it would have been, I think it just wouldn't have looked good if there was, I think there was a big section of red or something, and I knew that wasn't going to work, so I just cut that out. But for the most part, they ended up pretty much the same, which is pretty magical. And yeah, I think I'm going to keep these ones for myself, because they're just fun. Did I finish anything else? I don't think so. Oh, I'm sure I did, but maybe not, because I really haven't been knitting too terribly much. It's really warm, so I'm going to take this off now. Yes, so what I've been working on is more marling. And I just can't seem to stop myself. It's been really fun going through my bin and kind of pulling colors that kind of go together and then just seeing what happens. For this one, I didn't make a magic ball, but I think I might, because I found I'm thinking too much. You know, like where you try to be random, but you have to be random in like a very calculated kind of way. It has its good and its bad points, but I've ripped out sections many times because I wasn't happy with it. But the whole thing is like to just go with it. So I think I'm going to end up making a magic ball with the rest of this. Anyways, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I am making a cowl, and I hope it's going to be, I think it's going to be big enough, because I like mine to be a little bit closer and like taller. So I'm hoping that it's going to be wide enough, and it will block a bit as well, but this is it. So I've just used a DK yarn, and what I'm going to do is fold this over so that it makes a nice edge. Okay, so fold it over so that it makes a really nice folded hem, and then I'm using it 2 fingering held together for the rest of the sections. And I'm kind of using beiges and pinks and browns. There's some sparkle bits in there, there's some tweed in there, all sorts of different things. Honestly, I think part of the reason, I mean, I really like this, I do, but there's just something about it. I don't know. I'll probably finish it, but maybe not. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if it's the color. I don't know if it's just the cowl that I'm having issues with, but it's away for now, because the other thing that I'm working on is a Christmas present. And this has also gone through some stuff. So Georgia has been talking about wanting a pair of fingerless mittens, and I've been on a marling kick, so I've decided to make her a pair of marled fingerless mittens. Now, she is 7, and she saw this mini skein and fell in love with it. And it's a rainbow, and it is very saturated and very bright and very variegated. If you could not tell, it is not my favorite yarn in the world. I think it's Malintosh Rainbow or something. It's just not my jam, but she is 7 and she loves it. So I've been trying to find something to marl this with. Now, here's my first attempt. And I think I still have it in here. Yeah. Okay, so I was marling it with this, which is, I think it's a cream base, and it has speckles of like neon yellow, which matches the neon yellow in here, and like orange and green, and I just thought maybe they would work. They did not. No. So this is how that went. Yeah, and it is a lot, even for a 7-year-old. So I did kind of a neon pink and light pink marled cuff, which I kept. And then this, it just is too much. It's just too much for me. I just can't. So I haven't ripped it out because I wanted to show you, basically. What I've done instead is I've kept the pink on the cuffs, and I am now marling that rainbow with some beige. So it's still really fun. You still get the rainbow, but it's just not so much in your face. Crazy rainbow unicorn time. I think she'll love them. I hope she'll love them. And now I don't hate knitting them. How I'm doing these, I don't have a pattern for these. I might make I don't know. Every time I knit something, I'm like, oh, I could make this into a pattern. I could make this into a pattern. I could make this into a pattern. Like with those socks and the cowl and all this stuff. I have notes to make them into a pattern. But sometimes I forget I can just knit and not worry about making a pattern. So at the moment, I'm just doing that. I have a pattern that I'm working on that I will talk about in a minute. But I think for now, I think these can just be what they are, which is fun, marled mittens that I don't have to worry about. For the cuff, I used the US 2, and I think I cast on 36 stitches for small hands, and a US 3 for the thing. I like them now. But yeah, look at the difference between them. Like, they're both fun. They're both bright. One is just, what do they call it? Unicorn barf, basically. Too much. And this is just a little less much. So usually I knit her something for Christmas. Last year I made her some marled socks that were rainbow, but they were rainbow with a self-striping kind of, so those turned out really well. And I did knit her I knit her a sweater that I didn't show you, but she's wearing it today, so I can't go grab it. But I made the mini Montrealer, and it has these, I actually used the scraps from my Christmas stockings, which you can kind of see there, because I bought way too much yarn for those. So I used the scraps from those, and a couple other colors. So it's like Christmas, but not Christmas. They're having a pancake lunch with Santa at school today, so she wanted to wear her Christmas sweater, but it's not so Christmas that it can't be worn not at Christmas. So a really great pattern. Highly recommend it. Maybe I'll put a picture in, because I did actually take really nice finished objects pictures of her wearing it. The other thing that I'm kind of working on is a new pattern, and it's something that many people have been asking about for like 2 years now, and I'm finally getting around to doing it. Yeah. So this is my swatch for the Sprocket sweater. It is going to be a pullover sweater with a round yoke, and this matches I have a sock pattern and a hat pattern with this same motif that I created here. It uses slip stitches and is really, really fun to do, and mini skeins, because you know how much I love mini skeins. I don't know if these are the colors that I'm going to use. I kind of knit the swatch first, and then I've been working on the chart for the color work, and it just is going to work better with 5 colors. So yeah, I'm going to have to find one more color, I think, here. And also, I don't know if you can see it, but my red, after I blocked it, did bleed. So having that red right next to that light gray, not particularly pleased with that. So I just don't want to. And I really don't want to have to wash my yarn a bunch to get the extra dye out. So that's kind of annoying. But I've never designed a rounded yoke sweater before, so I've been doing lots of research, and I'm just about to the point where I think I can cast it on and start the actual knitting. It's going to be top down, so that's going to be really fun to work that part of it. and I'll show you as we go along. What am I going to talk about next? Let's talk about something I got in the mail that I ordered. And it's actually going to be from Santa because for the past few years, Santa always brings socks to our house, right? But I don't really ever need socks. I don't wear through my socks. I knit my own socks. I don't particularly wear sport socks all that often. And when I do, I have one, I buy a thing from Costco, once every 3 years and I'm good. And then I just wear my wool socks. So what Santa has done for me for the past few years is gotten me yarn so that I can make my own socks. So this year, I got Flot Sock. This is Relana Garn. And it is a self-patterning, self-striping Christmas sock yarn. So those will be probably what I cast on Christmas Day and knit, during Christmas family activity things. That's kind of what it's going to look like. I don't know who knits these socks, but that gauge is so not my gauge. These look like they were knit on a 3 or something, or a 2. Very loose. Anyways, that is what is going to be in my stocking. And I got these from the Yak Yarnery, and they are a yarn store out in Rocky Mountain House, Alberta. And if they also do, Erin, she was the designer behind Red Fox Fibers, and she did amazing yarn. So she opened her own yarn store, like a brick and mortar store, which is where I got this from. And she was so sweet, and she sent me a little special gift as well. So she has started dyeing yarn again under the Yak Yarnery. And could she have picked a better color for me? I do not think so. I was thinking about maybe doing a giveaway, but it's just too perfect. It's this beautiful olive. It's on her yak, Yakety Yak sock. So it is a 3-ply superwash merino yak and nylon. So I don't quite know what I'm going to do with these yet. Maybe I'll just make some socks out of them. They feel like they would be, I've never really knit. I actually have some of her yak yarn from when she was Red Fox Fibers. Still haven't knit with it. But these would make wonderful socks. So thank you so much, Erin. I think I'm nicely together. I don't know if that was planned, but Fred's making noises. But yeah, so thank you very much, Erin. I really love it. And maybe I'll put both of them. Maybe Santa got me 2 skeins of yarn this year. The other thing, that's it for knitting stuff, kind of. But Katie and I have been working on something that I'm really excited about. It's not going to happen until the new year because with Christmas and everything, the kids are only in school for 1 more week. So we're trying to kind of pack in as much stuff as we can into the next week and then work our butts off and then take a break until they go back to school. But by then, hopefully, we're going to do... I don't even know what we're calling it yet. It's just kind of still in the beginning stages. But we're going to do a class on Teachable, so an online class about becoming a knitwear designer. And I think kind of what's going to happen with this first one is it's going to be like a... I don't even know. I don't know how to explain it. because honestly, my job in this is to teach. Katie is the one who knows about how it's all going to work. So she is the planner behind this. I am just the one with the knowledge to share. So all I can tell you right now is it's going to be really fun and really interactive, and we're going to be building something together. I know from kind of the basic outline of it's gonna be over 6 weeks, I think, and take you from kind of design inception, so your like ideas, and into how to translate that into a pattern. It's not going to go too deep into really technical things, but it is going to talk a lot about, I'm going to talk a lot about like how to build your confidence, really, and like what the steps are to get it from idea to pattern, while being true to yourself, kind of. And I don't know, confidence was always something that I struggled with, and still struggle with, quite, like, just all the time. So I really wanted to share some of the ways that I work around that, because it is a huge barrier. And I don't know if you remember, but back in the spring, we did a big survey, and part of that was asking aspiring designers or people who are just interested in designing in general, kind of what's stopping you from taking that next step, or what's stopping you from going ahead. And the two most common, or like, yeah, the kind of things that you would want to learn, because we were thinking about doing this, you know, way back at the beginning of the year, that kind of the two most common things that people were talking about was just how to even get started. So where do you start? And kind of having the confidence to start, like not feeling like you're good enough, or that your ideas are unique enough, or anything like that. So I'm again, we haven't sorted out the real, like, concrete things quite yet, because it is something that I think we're going to build together. It's going to be very interactive, and before each little section, I think I'm going to talk to, like, I'm going to get your feedback about what you want to learn about, basically. So I don't have all the answers right now because they haven't been done yet, but I have a feeling that it's really going to focus on getting from idea, swatching, what goes into a pattern, how to write it out, a little bit of grading maybe, but not too technical, and boosting. I just want everyone to be confident and not look at Instagram so much. That's always my killer, is Instagram. When I find myself like oh, like, this is really worth doing, and and you know, questioning myself too much, like, how much time have I been spending on Instagram? Yeah, that's probably just for life in general, but I find it really affects design work especially. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about it too much, because that's what the course is going to be for. But if you are interested, I think we have you could sign up for, I don't know if Katie set it up quite yet, but if you sign up for our email newsletter, we will be sending out more information. So you can, on our website, if you scroll down to the very bottom of any page, you can sign up for our newsletter there. Also, if you sign up for our newsletter, you can get a 20% off code of anything in the shop, except for subscriptions. Yeah. And I think that's all that I wanted to talk about. It's just about time to go pick George up from school. So that's good. And that's it. Make sure you go check out our 2 new patterns. I will put the links to them down below, the Saguaro fingerless gloves and the reflection shawl, and then make sure you keep your eyes open because we have 3 more patterns in the mini SKEIN collection. I've also, one other thing I wanted to just touch on in the last 2 minutes I have here. Shoot, now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yes, on our mini SKEIN subscription signups, I did just add the inspiration photos for January, February, March, and April. Yeah, so all the way up until April, you will be able to see the inspiration photos if you want to go and check those out. It's been really nice to be back. I hope to be able to dedicate more time to being on YouTube and sharing things with you all. And that's it. If I don't see you beforehand, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope everyone has a lovely, wonderful time. And we will see you soon. Bye. Where did you go?